Hello and welcome. In this video I'm going to show you how to install Splunk Universal Forwarder on a Windows machine. And so I have a Splunk server already installed on a on a Ubuntu server. Let me show you this server. It's all up and running. Here you go, and I'm using that IP address 10.5.5.135, but I need to install Universal Forwarder on a Windows client. So here you need to create an account and login, then search for Splunk Universal Forwarder, then choose the platform. Here we're doing Windows, so choose a 64-bit, and I need to download. You can also get WeGet link, but I've already downloaded. It's in my downloads folder. So if I show you, here it is. So we need to install that. And when the installation starts, we need to accept the license. Then if you want to customize, for example, where you need to install it, then you can change, but I'm happy with the default. I'm not doing any certificates or no passwords, so continue. Next. Then I want to capture all the local system events, and then next. Then these are the settings I need to capture, and also the performance monitor, like the CPU, memory, all this I need to capture. If you have Active Directory and you want to monitor, you can do it from there and select the directory as well. But I don't have that now, so click next. Then we need to create a user. That user, please read the documentation. For certain applications, you really need to make sure they need root, they avoid root user, so make sure you understand what user is required. So let's create a password and then repeat the same password for that user. Then click next. Now there is the deployment server. Here, for example, if we have multiple sites and they have multiple users in each site, you want to have one deployment server there. It collects the data from that site and then forwards it to this port 8089 on a central server. I don't have that now, but I might need it in the future. So I will just key in the IP address of my Splunk server. And the IP I'm using 10.5.5, it's on my Splunk server. If I show you from the command line, let's clear the screen and clear, and then IP address. And when we do that, so that's the IP 10.5.5.135. This is where I want to use it later for my deployment server, and using the default port I didn't change. Make sure that if you have a firewall, that's allowed. So the Splunk server is where the indexing is, and I'll show you how to configure that. I'm using the default 9997, but same IP 10.5.5.135 and then 9997. If you click next, then continue the installation. So that will take some time, so let's wait for it. While that's going on, let's check the Splunk server. Here the other settings we will do will be from the settings tab. We'll create the data input, forwarding, and indexing, but I already configured some. If you want to add new, you can add it from there. I've done one just to show you the 997 port, the default one. It's right there. So we're already expecting traffic coming from a Universal Forwarder. So let's go back to our Windows machine. This is still going on. Now that's complete, and if you want to read more about it, you can click on those tabs, but that's it for that installation. Let's finish, and this is done. This machine, the Windows machine, is now forwarding traffic to our Splunk server. As I said, the few things we need to do, like the data inputs, the forwarding, and index. Let's start with the index. When data comes to this machine, then it will be coming and then will be organized in a certain way. There is a main index which is already there, which you can use, but we need to have ours separate. So let's create a new one. On the top right corner, you have add new index, and we want to name it Win10, that's Windows 10 PC1, and we can capture either events or metrics. If you remember, we already configured events. There are some optional settings you can change. I'm using the search and reporting app. I'm happy with the default, so accept and continue. Here it is now. It's all configured. If you want to disable it, you can do it from there as well. And so the index is there. The next thing to do is the data source. So add data. You can do it from data inputs as well, but add data. And sometimes you may have an issue. You might not see the data sources in here, but now this is showing we can create either new or we can use an existing one. Let's do the existing one because I already configured the Windows PC, the index we created, and it's coming from that PC. So let's say existing, and then select the Win 10 PC1. That was an older one, so ignore that. Let's use that and then select the machine and click next after that. So we have that machine ready. What data are we capturing? Local event logs or files and directories, TCP, UDP ports. We're looking at the local events. So capture all this which was on the local machine and add all, then click next. And then here the input settings, we created an index, and that index we need to add it. We can do the drop down list, and here we've got the main, we have the Windows PC which we created, then we say next, and here's a summary of what we've configured, the machine we're collecting data from, and what we are capturing right here, and that's the index we're using Windows 10. Now click submit, and that's all done. So we can start searching, add more data, we can create dashboards, and maybe if we need add-ons we can download from there as well. But now we're looking at the let's start the searching. And the searching, as soon as you install, it will take time, so give it time. Here's the source coming from Windows Event Log, and the index is the Windows PC, but let's give it the time frame for an hour. I'll pause it for a while until I capture the data, then I will show you the data we're capturing from the Windows machine. Here you go. I waited for a little while, and now I'm seeing the security events here and other events. If you scroll down, you can see you can also create the search. I said the index is Windows 10 PC and I'm capturing Windows event logs, but you can create regular expressions. And here's the data. For example, our machine is Windows 10 and the time you're looking at. So you can create, for example, you want to capture specific logs, and you can create the regular expressions over here and then start searching. You can then create dashboards where you want to see the traffic you configured here. So that's all. I think in another example I will show you a Linux machine. Thank you again for your time, and see you on another video.